this job, the customer has asked me to sort out the handrail and the Newel post at the top and the handrail across the top. She's actually had a go herself, and she's used a water-based gloss on it, and there's no sheen on it really whatsoever. I think she's only put one coat on, possibly, because it's really ropey. And then as you go up to the top, it's actually all coming off this Newel post. I'll show you that. Now really what's happened, it's not been, the grease has not been cleaned off first of all, because you need to clean it off with methylated spirits, give it a wipe down. You can use soap and water as well to go over it as well, because sometimes there's stains and marks that will come off with water, and then there's marks that will come off with something a bit more that will cut into it, like methylated spirits or even white spirit. Give it a wipe over, and then once that's dried off, you need to give it a sand. Any old paint you need to try and scrape off, because I'm going to have to scrape this off. As you see, it's just peeling off. I mean, that's water-based gloss. What I'm going to do is, once I've cleaned it all off, sanded it down, I'm going to put a coat of bin primer on it, and that will go over grease. It's really good stuff. And then I'm going to put gloss, an oil-based gloss, straight on top of the bin primer, because the bin primer dries in about an hour, and you can use it as an undercoat, and it speeds the job up, because the gloss does take quite a while to dry. But once it is dry, it's a lot more hard wearing, and you get a better sheen on it. So yep, I'll scrape all that off first, and then give it a coat of bin primer. It's really bad, that is. So usually what I do first is I degrease it, because there's no point in trying to sand it before you degrease it. But in some circumstances, you're better off scraping off the paint, obviously, before you degrease the surface underneath, and then sand the surface underneath, which is sound, because you know that's been done properly right underneath where it's coming off. But you still got to degrease it and sand it. Right, to eliminate any problems happening again, what I've decided to do, it's best doing it sometimes. Sand it back to bare wood using a coarse sandpaper, and you know you can strip it with some paint stripper if you want, but because it's only a little bit, it comes off quite easy with the sandpaper. What you want to do is try and make sure you keep with the grain of it. It's a lot easier to keep with the grain of it. Mainly I'm only going to do the top bit here, because that's the bit that gets a lot of the wear when people are coming up the stairs and down the stairs. So once I've sanded it with some coarse stuff, I'm going to use some smoother sandpaper down to like 180, maybe 120, just to smooth it off. And then I'm going to still degrease it. 2 coats of the bin primer, and then a coat of gloss, and it should be fine. And just give it a light sand between the bin primer, you know, with its 2 coats. It should be alright once it's done. Like I say, you can have a look once it's done. That's the primer done now. Like I say, it dries really quickly. Bin primer, it's really good stuff. So that just needs a light sand with some very fine sandpaper, and then a dust off, and you can put your gloss on it. I'll just show you the top of this post. Again, I've sanded and primed that, and I've sanded and primed that. I've just put a second coat on that, so need to leave that drying for a bit. But you know, when you put your paint on as well, try and keep with the grain when you're brushing it. Right, I'll show you the gloss when it's on. I'll do this first, give that top enough time to dry off this, but I'm going to gloss it now. The bin primer's dried and I've given it a sand down and I've dusted it off. So this is an oil based brilliant white gloss. I'm not doing the underneath edge because it doesn't really matter, just it's the top that needed doing because it was all coming off and it was nasty. 1 inch brush really, that's all I need for what I want. Start with the end. And we can go straight onto the top bit. Again, it's not about overspreading your gloss. Got to make sure you get a nice even coat on it. And build it up on the edges a bit because you don't want to just scrub it about on that edge. You want a nice coat. I've strained this gloss as well, but still some bits in it. It doesn't matter too much about that back edge because you never see it, as long as you kind of keep the paint smooth at the back edge and don't let it run round, and so people can feel it with their hands, runs and things like that. And once you've done a bit of the top section, you can bring that side in. Once you're satisfied with that bit, move on, do another bit and just keep working down and doing it in about, say the sections, they're about 1.5 foot what I'm doing. And then just repeat the process down. Right, that's the gloss on now. You see a nice sheen on that. Yeah, look at the sheen on that now. I mean, I know it's only just been done and it's drying off, but generally that sheen should stay there now, and it should be a lot hard wearing than a water based gloss. It's fantastic stuff, oil based paint. Alright. All finished now. That's that. The difference on that.